Okay, today we are going to talk about the value of bills. Slash money, cash money dollars. Okay, so first off, what I want you to do is we are going to draw a place value chart. So remember, what I draw here, you're going to draw. So let's see, I'm going to put, that's my decimal, and then you're confused about where my drawing's going, then that's fine. I'm a little confused too, but we're going to get there. Okay, so my lines look a little uneven, and I'm sorry about that. I am doing this as we go. Okay, so this is our little place value chart, and this is going to help you with money, but it's also going to help you with place value when we're doing problems with standard numbers that don't involve money. And you'll also learn, I like to use a lot of money problems because it just makes more sense to us. So here, this is our ones place value. So this is a decimal. One place value to the left is my ones. Then one place value to the left from that is my tens. And then the next place value to the left is my hundreds. And I'm gonna take the S off because it's, well, I guess it's the tens. I'm not sure. Y'all know y'all can tell me in class and let me know, because we're just gonna keep it moving and y'all know what I'm talking about. So once you've copied that, sorry, I was trying to find to confirm, but we're gonna keep it moving. Okay, so that's ones, tens, 100. Okay, and then one place value to the right is my tenths. As you can see here, it looks like 10, but you put a THS on the end. There is no such thing as once. No such thing as once. We're not going to use once. Okay, and then the place value to the right of the tenths is our hundredths. We put a THS on the end. Okay, so this would represent 0.01. Okay, so if it's in the hundreds, my number would look like that. If my number was in the tenths place, it would look something like that. You can see here's my decimal, and I only have one digit to the right, so that I would read this as 1/10. Okay, here I have two place values to the right, and that would read 1/100ths. Okay, this would look like 1. If I had a number that was a 10, it would look like this. And if I had 100, I would write it like this. Okay, now we're going to think, how could I model hundredths? I would model, well, actually, let's go to the hundreds first. I would do a $100 bill. Okay, put a little face on there if you want. I don't even know who's on the $100 bill. We should probably figure that out. Let me know. So that's my $100 bill. Okay, that's how I would model it for problems. How would I model this? That would just represent a $10 bill. We see $10 bills in the real world. People use them, not as much, but people do use them. Okay, here's a $1 bill. A little person inside of it. Okay, now, so we could say $1, $10, and then $100. Okay, sorry, Well, I wrote 100, 100. I'm losing it. Obviously, my coffee has not kicked in yet. $100, okay? So now, how would I represent this? I would represent it just like that. Put a little 1 in it, okay? And that would say 1 dime, okay? This represents 1 dime. I know I put a little 1 in it, but because it's a tenth, I'm actually going to put a little 10 in it. So this represents a dime, okay? If I put a 0 behind this, it won't change the value, and it will say 1/10, okay? Here, I would represent it like this, 1. You see why I realized how I caught my mistake here? So that would represent 1, and that would represent 1 penny. So it takes 100 pennies to make $1. So 100 pennies equals $1. Okay? I can write. Okay? Now, 10 dimes equal $1. Now let's see here, okay? So if 10 dimes equals $1, well, didn't we talk the other day how 1 is 10 times smaller than 10? Or 10 is 10 times larger than 1, okay? So 10 dimes equals $1. And I like to say, if I'm walking down the street, or I'm finding money around my house, cleaning out the car, walking in the grocery store, wherever, and you find some money on the floor, would you rather find a dime first, or would you rather find a penny first? I would much rather find a dime first, because I know 1 dime equals more than 1 penny. So I like to think the first place value is dimes. That's what I want to find first. If I'm walking and I find something, the second best thing I would want to find is a penny. Now I'm sure some of you guys are thinking, what about quarters? What about nickels? We are going to use quarters and nickels for problem solving, but we're not going to necessarily use them for our place value chart because they don't go in our place value chart. We can still use them for problem solving, absolutely. But you're going to see us reference money for the rest of the year and pennies and dimes. And once again, you can remember that D comes first in the alphabet versus a P. So the first place value to the right of the decimal is a dime. The second place value to the right of the decimal is a penny. And hundredths, because it takes 100 pennies to make $1. It takes 10 dimes to make $1, so that's why it's in the tenths column. Okay, so what you are going to do, we are going to be done with that for right now. For classwork, we are going to discuss, so I'll put classwork, CW stands for classwork. We're going to discuss page 139. Okay, so come ready to discuss this tomorrow. We're going to work through the problems together. And then your Google form. Your Google form for this, you're going to do page 141 for a Google form. Okay, problem number 2 where it says show 2 ways to make $462. I'm going to try to think of some creative way for you to show us that, but I am going to want you to do that. So we are going to discuss for classwork page 139, and then your Google form that goes along with this would be page 141. Okay, come at me with questions, please, if you have any.